Understand what I'm saying. You understand the various things that would happen as a result of this thing. But we pray that it's not going to last for long, and God is going to show us mercy. Jésù ní balógun ọkọ̀, ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ ká fòyà. Bó ti wù kí jìnnà létò, yóò mú ọkọ̀ wá gúnlẹ̀. Ẹ má ṣe bẹ̀rù, ẹ kún fún ayọ̀, nítorí Jésù lọ̀gá ọkọ̀. Bó ti wù kí jìnnà létò, yóò mú ọkọ̀ wá gúnlẹ̀. O God of creation, direct our noble course. Guide our leaders right. Help our youth the truth to know and speak in love and honesty, to grow and live in just and true. Great lofty heights help us attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. It's simple. That's a prayer for Nigeria. So, to the order of the day, I know many people have seen the flyer I dropped about 2 days ago, where I stated that I'm going to talk about 7 alternatives to mentoring for those who have not yet found a mentor. So today is the first installment, and I've decided to do this little bits of Instagram live, just to discuss one point and then one point and then one point until we get to the 7th one, or the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, as God leads me, right? And honestly, these things are pouring in my spirit, right? And as He gives me articulation, I will say them, right? And based on experience, based on research, especially first from the Word, right? And then, of course, other sources. But basically, everything is supposed to rest on the Word of God. So you hear me talk about certain principles, certain things that I think, in my own opinion, are right, yeah? And as much as possible, it will be backed up by the Spirit of God, by the revelation of His Word and His intention, right? So 7 alternatives for mentoring, especially for those who have not found a mentor, because the truth is we will not all find mentors, and that doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. It does not. You don't have to be the problem if you try to get a mentor through the best possible means, because we're quick to say, oh, you're not doing it right, or you're doing it the wrong way, you're not asking the right people, you're not asking them at the right time, or you're not saying the right things to them. But sometimes you can check all your box, and at the end of the day, there's still nobody to mentor you, or the ones you call mentors are actually not there for you in the particular season and time, that you want them to be there for you. So in case this is happening to you, or in case it happens to you, there are other alternatives, right, that you can explore and consider so that you can still gain mentorship. Because I'm not going to because it is very important, and I am not going to go over, how important it is for you to get a mentor, at least not in this particular episode. So, number one alternative to mentoring, which I have always said and I will always say it, and that is why it is my number one, is your parents. Your parents are your first mentors. Your parents are your mentors. I cannot stress it enough. So there are reasons why we do not see them as mentors, and that is understandable. But the truth is, take it from me, your parents are your first mentors. So let's talk about why we don't see them as mentors. Number one, we don't see them as mentors because we feel like they don't understand our language and they cannot speak our language. So you have this huge generational gap, especially if you're like me, last born, you know, of how many, like 7, or maybe you come from a polygamous home and you're like 35 out of, you're like 35th out of 36 children. Chances are that your parents are way old, right? And you probably belong to generations far behind them, right? And also chances are that they are even already exhausted, like they have trained so many people already, such that by the time you arrived, they didn't have anything to give you again. It's the harsh reality, but it's the truth, right? So we tend to disconnect, you know, because of that reason that, oh, they are too old, they belong to another generation, they are old school, they are old-fashioned, they're not going to understand what I'm going through, they're not going to be able to address what I'm going through just to meet my need exactly where I am. So we need to go past, you know, that reason. Honestly, you need to go past that reason. Doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter the extent or the level of distance, you know, in that age gap. You just need to find a way to bridge it. You need to find a way to communicate what you want to say to them in a language, in a way and manner that they will understand it. Okay, if your parents do not like chatting on WhatsApp, for instance, and you need to talk to them, you need to tell your mom about something you're going through. Maybe you feel like you don't even want to, right? But you can start to explore that channel. Just do the phone call instead of the WhatsApp, and then gradually start to introduce to them, you know, how to use some of these channels and these devices and these platforms, okay? Because eventually they will open up. Eventually they will open up because they will see what is at stake. When they give you advice at one point in time, they see how you utilized it and it worked for you. Somehow they will also want to listen to you. They will be very interested in you. So I can't stress it enough. Go past that limitation of the generational gap. Try as much as possible to bridge it. Reach out to your parents and find a way to connect with them on a mentorship level, right? On a mentorship level. Try to put aside all your differences, squabbles, you know, the fights, the this is why they don't like me. He's going to say, I've always told you so. He's going to say, this is who she is. That's how she was since she was growing up. That I knew this is what you were going to turn out to be. Go past that. Just go to them as a child, right? And get what you need to get. Another thing I need to point out in this aspect is, if you have separated parents, and for instance, you know that in this particular season of your life, you need the speakings of a mother. You need the speakings of a mother. And yet, your parents are separated and your father is turning you against your mother. You need to go past that. Find a way to let their issues be between them, right? Your dad and your mom. And then you go ahead and seek what you need to get from. To reach out to your parents and relate with them on the basis of mentorship. The second reason we don't like to reach out to our parents or see them as mentors is that we think that our mentors, you know, our secular mentors, love us very much. You know, we call them mama, mommy, daddy, papa. You know, we think that they love us like they love their children. So it's gradually scrapes away, you know, our consciousness of the fact that our parents are first our first mentors. It gradually chips off from that notion that our parents are also our mentors. Okay, so papa or that mama does not love you. They love you very much, right? But I doubt if they love you as much as they love their children. Except, of course, if they don't have biological children. Okay, so I can truly admit that, oh, they love you as a child, right? But where they have biological children, you said one day you go sit down. Do you understand? You sit down and check, look at their children. You will know that, Otolaye, as in, your seat is different, you're fluctuating. So I was at the birthday at some point in time, and I was privileged to be the anchor or the MC, as you would call it. And there was this awkward moment where they had to call the celebrant, they had to call the biological mother, the mother of the celebrant, rather, the mother of the celebrant. And it just became so awkward because when they said mother of the celebrant, everybody was still thinking that mother of the celebrant was her mentor, a secular mentor, until we had to say biological mother. And in my mind, I'm like, how did we get here? Do you understand? Mother is mother. There is no one like mother to me, no matter how. I don't know. I traveled over land, I traveled over sea. Do you understand? So there should never come a point in your life where your mentors, your secular mentors, now take the place of your biological parents. It is extremely, extremely, extremely important, especially when your biological parents are still alive. I used to say this, that I've noticed around me who are not very crazy about mentorship are people who still have biological parents. And that's the truth, because they still have this sense of security. They have this sense of, I am covered. Do you understand? So when your parents are still alive, please give them that honor, accord them that respect, and defer to them, relate with them as mentors. I hope I have stressed those 2 points enough. Now, why do you now need them to be your mentor? I'm just going to rush through this. Okay. Why do you need your parents to be your mentor? I'll start from the second point I just dropped off. That you need them to mentor you because nobody will love you as much as they do. That's what I think. So I was counseling with someone recently, and not like I counsel plenty of people. That just happened. And in my spirit, I felt like this person should actually contact, their one of their parents, their mom in particular. And I said, okay, so now that we are in this huge mess and this crisis situation, have you called your mom? And this person goes, because the last time my mom ever intervened, she had said, you are on your own. I'm like, yes, she's right. Because truly you're on your own. But then, if she's still alive, I think she needs to speak into this matter. If she's still alive, I think she still needs to be aware. She needs to know what does that mean to you. She needs to speak into this matter. So nobody is going to really advise you. Take your matter as seriously as your parents. See, if you are on a table where mentors have refused is harsh. Maybe if you've been on tables where they have been too busy to respond to you, right? I'm not sure your parents will treat you that way, except they are the president of the United States or something. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I didn't say that to be sarcastic, but that's the truth, right? So, many people are falling into the hands of mentors that eventually, they became a casualty, right? Just reach out to your parents. That's what I'm trying to say. The second reason is that the impact of your parents on your life is more enduring and more lasting. And this is where I'll begin to enter into scriptural backgrounds. So we see Anna with her child, Samuel, right? The child that she has desired of the Lord. And after she got this child, you would have thought, hey, oh yeah, let me just start to bring all of them out. Pim, 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 one after the other. In fact, it is fluctuating. So I would have been more eager to go to Shiloh the following year because now I have a baby. Like, I also have the experience. I can do what, my rivals used to do and all of that. Anna did not go anywhere. Anna said, I am going to win this child. Like, I'm coming. Like, I'm not ready yet. I'm winning this child. I am instilling some discipline in this child. I am blessing this child with some values and some culture that is going to preserve and sustain him in a culture, in a corrupt culture, in a corrupt system. I'm putting something in this child that is going to make him last, through a falling world and make him stand tall. because she had already seen a need in the temple, and she saw how the children of Eli were misbehaving in the temple. So she knew that she needed to put something in that child, and she was very deliberate about it. That is the role of a parent. That is the role of your parents. Do you understand? So you need them. You need them in many ways. You need them because their impact on your life is more lasting. So that's in 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 22. She said, wait, I'm busy. I'm winning a child. I'm doing something to a child. I am pouring into a child. I'm influencing a child. I'm nurturing a child. I am training a child because I know where I am sending this child into. And we see how all of that sustained Samuel through that corrupt system. The system was so corrupt that in the real world, Samuel couldn't even, Samuel turned out the same way. The children of Samuel also turned out like the children of Eli, because he now had to observe Eli for the rest of his life. But that is story for another day. Okay, let's just focus on the fact that the impact of your parents is more lasting, especially in those early years. The mentors you have today were not the ones who brought you up while you were a child. Do you understand? And chances are that the values you esteem the most today are still those values that your parents instilled in you while you were a child, while you were growing up. Okay, so let's look at a flip side, a flip side of this, and that is the life of David. Now, let's look at the relationship between David and Jesse. Jesse is the father of David, and clearly he was not involved in David's life. How do I know he wasn't involved in David's life? He didn't know about David's exploits. When God opened my eyes to see this one this morning, I was just like, wow. David did not really have that mentor-mentee relationship with his father. He didn't, his dad was not aware of his exploits. Let me show you. In first Samuel, right? In 1 Samuel, when Samuel came to carry to measure, to anoint the next king, after God was displeased with Saul. Now, they asked Jesse, he kept bringing out all the firigban, all the gengen, all the, and some hefty guys, right? Until they now said, is there no more? He now said, there is one. And he knew only two things about his son. First, he is the youngest. Second, he keeps sheep. That was all Jesse could say about his son. But David had a totally different profile. And we see this is in 1 Samuel chapter 16. After the evil spirit from God had gone into Samuel, right? And they said, okay, let's find him a psalmist, someone to, just change the atmosphere, change the setting of the atmosphere so that the evil spirit would leave. And the servant said, I have found a man. I know a man. And then he begins to tell us the profile of this same David that Jesse could not describe. And he says, number one, he's cunning in playing. Number two, he's a mighty valiant man. Number three is a man of war. Number four is prudent in matters. Number five is a comely person. And this is the person that Jesse just said, he's the youngest. He keeps sheep. And I'm speaking this to some of you who prefer to talk to your mentors about certain things and you cannot talk to your parents about it. That is where you are missing it. You are looking for a mentor to talk to, and yet you've not found a mentor. Please, can you just, your parents are a call away, a phone call away. Can you just call them? I'm serious. Because this person that David wasn't discussing his matters with eventually didn't recommend him for kingship. That was how, the anointing would have passed over him to another person. Because the person who was supposed to recommend him and put him forward was not even aware of his exploits. I'm not joking. So you win this award, or you were nominated for this, or you were even promoted at work, and you're not discussing it with your parents. And yet you're looking for a mentor. I know sometimes we feel like they're not going to identify, with me. They're not going to feel what I'm feeling. I need somebody in my profession. I need somebody in my line of business. It doesn't matter. Just try. Because you've still not found a mentor. Maybe you've been looking. I'm going to drop a reel after this live. And you will just laugh, because even myself, I'm still laughing. I don't know I'm going to drop that reel. But it's the truth. You don't find a mentor. You call, they no pick. So what's the Kimi? Just reach out to your parents. Okay, so you've seen that in 1 Samuel 16. Jesse almost lost it, right? Now, let's see another mistake, another woe that would have befallen David. So, by the time David was now seeing an opportunity for him to express himself and, you know, bring his gifting to bear, but of course, because he had now been anointed, right? Because if not, he would have still been God would have still been preparing him in the wilderness, keeping sheep. But at this point, he's now anointed, and at this point, the Philistines are now already, you know, torturing and harassing the children of the children of Israel. So we see we see David coming out, and again, see how his brother described him. His brother is like, "What are you doing here? Who invited you here? Your place." I mean, the aggression was even more here because he is now anointed. Do you understand? And that's why I've not talked about siblings all this while, because there's a place where your siblings are also supposed to mentor you. But I deliberately didn't add siblings. I've not talked about siblings. I've not talked about siblings at all, because there's a place for that one again. Joseph had the most horrible siblings. Do you understand? There are times when your siblings can be your mentors, and there are times when your siblings can totally be the opposite of mentors. Okay? Now, so David is on the battleground. The brother is like, "With who did you keep those few sheep?" You're going somewhere, right? As much as they don't see the value in you, they don't believe in you, they don't think you're doing anything that is worth their time and all of that. You know, you just have to keep on pressing on, right? Just like I know some people will not believe in this Instagram live that I'm doing, but I keep on doing it, right? So it's like, "With who did you keep the few sheep?" And David is like, "I didn't come for you. I didn't just come for you. So can you excuse me?" Okay, so that being said, let me land where I was going to. So David is here in front of the battle, and then he appears before Saul, and he himself now gives out his own resume. David describes himself to, in this case, you call Saul his mentor, right? We call Saul his mentor, and he described himself in two ways. He said, "I saw the lion, I killed the lion. I saw the bear, and I killed the bear." Description. If David was on Instagram today, you just see in his bio, he will say the lion killer, the bear killer. Do you understand? So that was how David described himself. But remember, his father said he's the youngest, he keeps sheep. So it's amazing how people can see you differently other than the way you see yourself. You have to be the one to tell them. You have to be the one to tell them who you are. Of course, by reason of what you're doing, because what you're doing will also prove and show them who you are. Okay? So he tells Saul, who you would say is his mentor, because at this point, just imagine the children of Israel, they are all wishing Saul was in their corner. Saul is the king. In fact, from the moment Saul was anointed, he was tall, he was handsome. You know, it was one that everybody wanted to look to. So you cannot just imagine how many people will want to be, you know, in that clique, in that tribe, you know, of Saul's mentees. And so David walks up to him and says, "I killed the lion, I killed the bear." And guess what? Because of that status, that qualification, Saul now gives him armor, spear, shield, all those things. Hello. This is how some of you have gone to your mentors, and you know, you keep telling them who you are, what you do, this and that, and they cast the wrong mantles on you. They cast the wrong mantles on you. They cast the wrong mantles on you because of what they see, because of where they are, because of just how much they see, you know, based on how much they know, based on where they are, they cast the mantle on you, a mantle that some of you are still trying to grow into. You've not been able to grow into them, mantles that do not fit you. if Jesse had followed this guy, if Jesse had known that this guy was a lion killer and a bear killer, that he was a ruddy man, he was a comely man, he was cunning in playing, he was valiant man, he was a man of war. From chapter 16, this guy had been described as a man of war. What battle did he fight? But Jesse didn't know. But let's imagine if Jesse had known. Jesse would have studied him. Just like Mary, the mother of Jesus. She would have been seeing the little things he was doing as a child. And when he got to the married at Cana of Galilee, he said to them, whatsoever he says to you, do it. And that was why they could obey him even when he said something as silly as pour water into the jars. Right? Nothing complex. And so Jesse would also have carried this guy's 2 slings and five smooth stones. Carried it for him and present him in a responsible way to Saul and say, good morning, sir. My name is so-and-so from the tribe of so-and-so. I have this boy, he's been anointed, since he was so-and-so years old. He's been doing this in a dignified way. Not that the guy will now have to come amongst the crowd. Somebody is harassing him. This one is harassing him. And then he finally makes his way to the king. And then he's trying to persuade the king. Say, I killed lion. I killed lion. And that's what some of you are doing. Because the right person is not introducing you. The right person who is supposed to introduce you is not introducing you. The right person, which we call sponsor today. The right person is not sponsoring you. So you never can tell the extent to which the voice of your parents will take you. Some of these are parents, it's their voice in prayers, it's their voice in intercession. But if they're not aware of the things you're doing, if they're not aware of the things you're going through, they will not be able to intercede properly for you in the place of prayer. They will not be able to propel you forward, to launch you out in the things that really matter. So this is David struggling to wear all of the mantle, all of the weapons that he is not familiar with. His destiny would have been truncated. Goliath would have slaughtered him like this. But thank God the story didn't end there. And which was also part of why Saul now started hating him. But that's another gist for another day, where you and your mentor are like this because something has shifted. Anyways, so I hope this has blessed you. Please go over and watch from the beginning. If you think I have said something and it has caught your attention, please go over this and watch it from the very beginning. I will see you in the next episode, right? And I do believe that you're going to send this to as many people who you feel it's gonna bless, right? And if someone has sent this to you, do well to follow me on Instagram. Do well to like some of my reels. I like to do a lot of short videos and reels just to buttress, the importance of mentorship and the struggles, that both parties go through, in trying to foster or gender, a worthy relationship, a vibrant relationship. So until I see you again in my next video, do stay safe, stay sane, and have a wonderful time. God bless you, and bye-bye.